Mr. Speaker, I want to thank Mr. Maharaj for asking this question. Honorable Maharaj. Mr. Speaker, Fiji's supply of dairy products depends on imported products, which accounts for approximately 75% of the Fiji's entire dairy market demand. About 64.5 million litres of milk is needed annually to meet the full demand. Now, out of this, about 24 million litres of which is 6 million litres is the total milk that is demanded is 24 million litres out of the 64 million litres of milk that is annually needed. 6 million litres is produced locally. The Fiji dairy industry has suffered significantly due to the bovine tuberculosis and brucellosis in the past 4 years. The industry has lost close to 5,000 animals due to these two diseases. Additionally, we are unable to import animals from outside because we do not want to inadvertently introduce any new disease. And we've been advised by biosecurity, both from here as well as Australia and New Zealand, that they don't want to take ownership of saying that the animals that they're going to send from there is totally disease-free. There are diseases which exist in New Zealand and Australia which we don't have it here. And we don't want to take the chance of risk of importing any new disease which will add to the existing two that we want to eradicate. The Speaker said it took Australia 40 years to eradicate their cattle head from TB and brucellosis. And we had just begun eradicating, testing, and then eradicating, isolating, and labeling the farms as disease-free farms. Mr. Speaker, we have annually spent $2 million from the last 4 years to undertake this work of testing and cleaning up our farms from TB and brucellosis. Mr. Speaker, for product development and promotion, the Ministry is taking the approach of promoting dairy in the rural areas by taking a market to farmers through establishment of mini collection centres, that is, to establish chillers where milk will be collected from the farm gate, brought to the chiller, and from the chiller, Reva Dairy Company Limited will collect the milk. Mr. Speaker, this year we're looking at establishing a chiller in Singatoka. At the moment, we don't have a chiller in Singatoka. We don't have a collection center in Singatoka, where 21 cattle farmers will benefit from the establishment of this new collection center. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry is also committed to expanding the dairy industry. This year, a total of 17 new farms has been established in the Wainimbuka area. From Rakiraki towards Wainimbuka, a total of 89 cattle farmers have been identified, and a new milk collection center will be established. So there will be, this area from Wainimbuka to Rakiraki will be establishing a new collection center. Chilla will be established, and these 89 farmers will benefit by taking the milk to the chiller, from where the Fiji Dairy Limited, Fiji Dairy Cooperative will collect it and pass it to Fiji Dairy Limited. The production targets for these new promising farmers is an annual production of 1.5 million litres in addition to the existing milk they are producing. So, Mr. Speaker, progressively, incrementally, we are raising milk production locally. Through right attitude, improvement management practices, better nutrition of the cattle, and introducing new breed, there will be a positive trend, and as the industry grows, production will definitely will grow incrementally. Mr. Speaker, there are factors, both internal and external, affecting production, but our concerted effort for the expansion is timely, as we are taking the problem of bovine tuberculosis by the horns. It is Ministry's prerogative to create awareness and entice farmers who own cattle to be part of this expansion plan. Mr. Speaker, the basic concept for the Fiji dairy industry is that of intensification. Mr. Speaker, we're now looking at how we could develop intensive dairy farms where we grow feed, corn and pasture outside, whereas we have the cattle inside. This is the concept that we have in other countries. where we basically feed the cattle inside. We don't let the cattle move outside. And in that way, we will be able to really increase, leapfrog in terms of increasing the production of milk. And we're now examining, there are one or two existing large dairy farmer who have shown interest in putting their capital investment to establish this intensive dairy farm. The only stumbling block for that is that they're waiting for us to get to them the new high-yielding Senepal breed that we have got now, which will be available by end of this year. So, Mr. Speaker, what we did, because we could not import high-yielding dairy cattle from Australia, we were able to import the embryo and then implant it in our cows here, and we've got the pure high-yielding dairy breed. But they're young now. So by this December, they'll be ready. They'll be ready for multiplication and distribution to, in the first phase, to the top dairy farmers. So they will be getting this new breed. So once we are able to give them enough, they are willing to establish intensive dairy cattle farm where the cattle will be inside and they'll be growing the feed and feeding to them daily. The Speaker said the current milking cow stands at around 6,000 heads, which is capable of producing around 10 litres per day per head. The local dairy industry does have the potential to produce 10 million litres per annum from the 6,000 cows that we already have with our current supplies. So imagine this 6,000 heads that we have, which are producing 10 litres per day per cow. Imagine the 6,000 is replaced by the new breed, which will give us around 20 litres per day, 22 litres per day. We will instantly be doubling, but this 10 litres that I'm talking about, these are the top ones existing, but it ranges from 4 to 10 litres. So once we introduce this new high-yielding variety, breed, we will be able to at least double the milk output in the local condition. Yeah. Mr. Speaker said the ministry has a specific program dedicated towards the rehabilitation of the dairy, namely the Dairy Industry Support Program, which the key areas of the Dairy Industry Support Program is to assist the farmers in terms of getting the feed, develop the organizing supplementary feed, and also the nutritional aspect of the dairy farm. Secondly, the improvement of the genetic stock by providing them with breeder bulls to ensure that they maintain genetic purity, which was neglected for some time, and therefore there has been a lot of inbreeding, and they have lost the original traits of the Brahman breed, etc., that we had. The Speaker said there has been informed investment decision made to the dairy industry in Fiji, and we had, I must say, and I would want to acknowledge the support from the New Zealand government to assist us in developing our dairy industry. Mr. Speaker, allow me now to shift my focus to our beef industry. There has been many government-led initiatives in the past to develop the beef industry in Fiji, both in the large and small-scale farmers. There was this well-known beef area in the past like Verata, Ulisavo, and Yellowo, with some still operating today, such as the Tilialevu and Yangara. The Speaker said Yangara at the moment is our largest beef farm. We have close to about 10,000 heads there, which is now taking shape as one of the premium supplier of beef meat in the country. Mr. Speaker said, in June last year, our ministry started major works in upgrading and reviving the defunct Yellowo beef scheme right up in Singatoka and right in the interior. Mr. Speaker, I want to tell you, about 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago when this was abundant, 20 years ago when the Yellowo scheme was abundant, no one bothered to round off the cattle that was there. The cattle that was there. They just abandoned the scheme. We are now rounding off this cattle which was all over. Mr. Speaker, I want to inform the House that in a couple of months' time, we'll be formally doing an opening of and launching of that Yellowo beef cattle scheme. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry's challenge.
There is a point of order.
Point of order. Honourable Minister, Honourable Speaker, would you allow the Minister to make a ministerial statement in the order paper rather than carrying on? This is under point of order, understanding orders 40, Honourable Speaker. If you would allow him to make a ministerial statement rather than responding to an oral question. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank the Honourable Member. Honourable Member, the Honourable Minister is answering the question. This is a wide order. This is a wide-ranging question, and he's answering. You have the floor, Honourable Minister. Order. You have the floor, but don't converse with the fellows on the other side.
Mr. Speaker, with regard to the beef industry, we want our beef sector to be the premium beef supplier in the entire Pacific region. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible. There have been some interest. There have been some interest from within the region, but at the moment our abattoir is not internationally certified, so we're going to get there. Mr. Speaker, with regard to the beef and breed, there are 5 key target areas. One is improving the genetic base of the Piwa breed stock through embryo transfer. As you know, for the dairy we've got the brown Swiss. For beef cattle we've got Senapol. So again, by December that should be ready, and we then would want to distribute the breeders to the top Tilelevu, Yellowbow and Yangara, at least these 3 top beef schemes that we have. Then we have got the issue of beach eradication. Yangara itself, there have been infection. So Yangara at the moment, they're going through the 3rd stage of testing for TB and brucellosis. And we should be able to, in about 3 to 4 months' time, really separate out the infected animals there. And then Yangara would be certified as a TB and brucellosis clean farm. And then we can also use Yangara also to supply breeder stock to others as well. Mr. Speaker, we have also allocated funds to develop the through beef extension intervention strategy. We are looking at securing the physical infrastructure that will allow establishment of new beef cattle farmers have shown interest. We have got a database done, and we would want to give it out to them, the basic infrastructure to develop paddocks. So that's in the process. And probably in 6 months' time, Mr. Speaker, we're looking at least establishing a dozen new beef cattle farms. So what we have said was that vertically going up, we also want to horizontally set up new farms. So you have 10 farms. The target that we have, if we expand the base, then we can grow very fast in terms of getting the quantity out. So, Mr. Speaker, let me assure this House that the Fijian people that we will continue to invest in the dairy and beef sector. And Mr. Speaker, I had said earlier on that these key livestock are under our radar: beef, dairy, and sheep. Given the importance to the economy and given the importance to our to consumption of our people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.